Good morning and welcome to the porch. Well, as always, we try to cover subjects that we think will help people, and today's not going to be any different. And the subject that we'd really like to get into and talk about is how people end up where they're at and how they can change things if where they're at is a bad place, and how they can change things to get into a better place in their life. Now, a lot of times people look at their life and they don't understand how they got there. And what we're going to try to touch on today is how did you get there and how do you get out of that situation? Now, if you're already in a good situation and you like where you're at in life, that's great. That's wonderful. That means you've made some right decisions. But let's look at life as if we were farmers. Now, if we want to reap a crop, so to speak, of, say, wheat, we plant wheat. If we want to reap a crop of corn, we plant corn, or apples, we plant apples. And at the end of it, we do end up with what it is we've planted. Now, here's a secret or mystery that we do need to understand is that no matter who you are, there are certain principles in life that work the way they work. They don't consult you, they don't consult me, they just work the way they work. And what we're going to be talking about this morning is one of those principles. And again, we're going to look at it from the perspective of a farmer. So ask yourself this: what is it that I really want in life? And let's just start with this illustration right here. Say you're having health problems and you want better health. And you look at it from the perspective of a farmer. And you say, I want better health, so how do I plant for better health in the future? Well, you're going to have to do some things. And that's the planting part of it. Now, there's different ways of looking at this, but this is just one way. You got to plant some things into your life that will bring health. Now, if you eat the wrong things all the time, you never get any exercise, you're always around negative things in life, or maybe even watch a lot of negative stuff on TV, the psychological part of that'll cause you to be unhealthy, and it certainly causes you to not think right. But let's don't get too hung up on the thinking part of it, because we've already done a video on that, and we'll probably do some more because there's some depth there to go into. But let's think about, how do we plant for health? Well, you may say, I'm going to start eating healthier. I'm going to look at a diet. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to figure out how to change my life, eat the things that will cause me to be healthier. I would suggest you write down the health problems you're having. I just recently did that because I want to change some things this year in my health part of my life. And write those things down. That way, when you start doing some changes, you can tell whether you're making a difference or not. Like weight. If you do anything in life and you don't measure it, how do you know that you're succeeding? How do you know you're on the right track? Well, you don't. So you weigh yourself. You might check your blood pressure. You might check your blood sugar. Different metrics there for different aspects of your health. Okay. Well, you get all that down. You write down a plan. You come up with a decent strategy, and you start changing the way you eat. And then you may say, well, I'm not getting any exercise. Okay. Well, get into an exercise plan. Now let me say this to you before you jump out there and say, I'm going to exercise every day, 2 hours a day. You're not. It would be the exception to the rule for anybody to do that. Now, sometimes people do that, but it's very, very uncommon. You might just say, I'm going to work out 10 minutes a day. And that might even be a good place to start. And then just work your way up. I'm going to do this for a year. Set a time for it. If you don't set a time for it, You'll never get there. Trust me on this. And then you're eating right, you're working out, you're watching what you consume mentally. And at the end of the year, here's the thing I'll make you a promise. If you'll do this and you'll stick with it, I promise you, you will change and it will be for the better. Now, that's just one thing. That's an illustration for one thing. But let's look at something else. Say finances. I want to be financially stronger. Well, there's a few things you can do to do that. You may have a job that's paying you right, and if you don't, you may need to look at that. But if you have a job that's paying you decently, then it may just simply be the way you're managing your finances. You may say, okay, I'm going to take 5% of my paycheck and put it in a bank account and start saving money. I know that I eat out 10 times a week or 5 times a week, whatever it may be. I'm going to cut that down to 2 or 3 times. And I know that I do a lot of driving that I can't afford to do, so I'm going to cut that back a little bit. Look at the things in your life that you can cut back on. Look at the way you can change how you manage your money. And again, do it for a year. Now, here's the thing. I like doing everything for a year because it gives you a long period of time to really understand the changes and see those changes. Write down where you're at right now. Let's go back to the weight thing again. If you weigh 300 pounds, if you're not going down, then you're not doing something right. Come up with a new strategy, but stay with it for a year and make the changes, be consistent in those changes. And again, I will promise you in a year, you'll look back and it will have changed your life. So I'm not going to harp too long. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter. But here's the thing is if you want change in your life, look at yourself as a farmer. Plant some things into your life that will cause those changes, okay? And you'll be better for it. I see people every day that their situation is just crazy bad. And here's another thing. I guarantee you, when you go to asking them questions, you'll find out real quick they're not managing their lives very well. They're not planting good things into their life, just bad things. Okay, guys, we're going to close with that. We appreciate you guys listening to these videos. I hope that they help you. We love you, and may God bless you.